Welcome back, DeFiers and YouTubers. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of DeFi Deluxe. Today, I am super excited about what I have to share with you. Lots of new news, as there is always. DeFi is so hard to keep up with. There's too much going on, more than I can cover in one episode, but I do my best to find good opportunities. It is my goal to not only share with you the latest headlines of the week, but also the best financial opportunities that are happening right now for anyone who wants to get involved. Mirror Protocol. I'm super pumped to share this piece of news with you because Mirror Protocol is something that we've been waiting for a long time. And I thought about this back around a year ago when DeFi started really picking up steam. Around the time when Pax Gold launched a token that was pegged to the price of gold and stablecoins started coming out. I thought, what about stocks? There's got to be a way to peg tokens to stock prices so that people who don't have access to the stock market, say outside of the US, might be able to purchase stocks without having to use Robinhood or Fidelity or any of those other cutting-edge fintech apps that work on traditional finance. Check this out, you guys. Just as if you were using Robinhood, you can buy stock from Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, Netflix, Google, you name it, Tesla. Any of these stocks are available from the liquidity providers who are, of course, putting capital into these pools, but there's already 24 million US dollars minting these assets. What's even cooler is that the Mirror app is a hybrid running simultaneously on Ethereum and Terra blockchains right now. So you can see that there's two different sites, the ETH Mirror Finance and the Terra Mirror Finance, both with different assets on them, both with different sets of APRs available for liquidity provision. So this is definitely the opportunity of the week. If you can see these APYs here, they're pretty high, nearing around 900 for most of them. And if you check on the ETH side, here we go with more APYs for the ETH pools. You'll notice that Mirror UST LP is the highest APY right now, which is pretty good. And you'll notice that providing liquidity on these is just as easy as providing liquidity on Uniswap for any other token pair. So just like any yield farm, you're going to place the liquidity here first, make sure you've got the correct pairs with the correct addresses, and then you're going to go back to the pair on Mirror and stake your LP tokens that you just received from Uniswap. The reward you're going to get from providing liquidity to Mirror is going to be in the form of Mirror token. The target price of the M asset is going to be the oracle that presents the price of the actual stock, and it updates every 30 seconds according to this. To burn an M asset, the issuer must burn the equal amount of M assets issued when opening the CDP, which is a collateralized debt position, and then that is returned to the issuer. And one note I want to make is that the Terra blockchain does not use MetaMask. So just know that if you want to provide to these Terra pools up here, you are going to need to get a Terra wallet, which is called a Terra Station wallet, and it works in your browser just like MetaMask. So in order to get your funds over there to start providing on Terra, you will have to swap your USDT for UST first, which is the Terra stablecoin. This may be one of the longer mining incentive campaigns we've seen, with tokens to be distributed to stakers on a weekly basis every 100,000 blocks for the first year. So not only do the incentives look like a good opportunity here, but this also to me is just what open finance is completely about, giving retail investors financial opportunities that they wouldn't otherwise have. And just as a side note, this is the first time I've seen an app running hybrid like this on two blockchains, and it is awesome. I think that this is going to be the way of the future. You hear a lot about the layer 2s and the Ethereum killers, but personally, I think that the future is going to look a lot like lots of parallel blockchains all working together. I'm hoping that all these layer 2s are going to be able to help siphon traffic off of the Ethereum network and lower congestion and fees. And I also think that more DeFi apps are going to start running hybrid like this on multiple chains so that all kinds of user bases can use them. What's exciting about that for us investors is that these yield farming opportunities are going to keep coming. All of these apps mean nothing without the users and the liquidity provided. So opportunities are going to continue to be abundant throughout the year. Once we can pop in and out of these other chains real easily, you're going to be able to move your money around and spend virtually nothing on transaction fees. It's going to be amazing. And just remember that I'm always going to try to bring you the best opportunities first, so make sure to hit that subscribe button below and hit the bell to be notified every time I make a video so that you can get the exclusive opportunities. Next on the list is Alpha Finance. They are also focusing on cross-chain DeFi products, and none other than Andre Cronje is a huge fan. he moved over all of the liquidity for the Keeper ETH pool from Uniswap to Alpha on November 21st. I don't know that Alpha has an official partnership with Yearn, but they are definitely working with Andre on a lot of different things, as you can see by this other tweet where they decided to support leveraged yield farming of SushiSwap pools as well. So Alpha Finance is the lab, and Alpha Homara, an homage to Harry Potter, is the protocol for leveraging your position in yield farming pools. Alpha is of course offering a liquidity incentives program as well, and what's interesting is you can farm all these at 1 times if you want, or you can up it to whatever the max is. Some of these you can go 2.5x on whatever your farm is. So remember, you're leveraging ETH for this. So that means that, you know, if you put $1,000 into this farm, it's actually going to borrow another $1,000 of ETH, and it's going to put you 2x at $2,000 of ETH, and that's the actual exposure you're going to get to that pool. How does that work, you ask? Well, your rewards are always going to be whatever your profit is minus the cost to borrow the extra 1,000 ETH. So if it costs 10% to borrow the extra 1,000, then you're going to need to make over that amount to make it worth it to even do in the first place. However, once you add in the extra APY and alpha rewards for the incentives, it could be pretty good. Liquidity mining is actually almost over for this one. Looks like it ends on December 12th. All right, guys, I hope you're still with me for this next one, because your minds are about to get blown. The innovation never ceases to amaze me in DeFi, and it just keeps getting crazier. Index tokens seem to be the talk of the town in DeFi nowadays. We know them well in traditional finance. Your 401k is technically a big index token. Mutual funds are indexes. Only in traditional index funds, you have to pay a money manager to rebalance your indexes every so often. Well, DeFi flips that on its head, and you get paid for the rebalancing. If you watched my first video, I talked about the DeFi Pulse Index, which is an index token comprised of 10 blue chips of DeFi. And if you go to the DeFi Pulse Index right now, is sitting at about $108. Now, this token is awesome, but it's essentially just holding your exposure to the tokens in a smart contract. So it's akin to having all of these 10 tokens sitting in your wallet, just leaving them there collecting dust. And everybody in DeFi knows that holding your tokens in your wallet, not having them do any work, is boring, right? And so 2018. So the new PowerIndex token goes above and beyond that to do some powerful things. PowerPool was actually in the news last week for being one of the companies to integrate with Yearn. They have a partnership in order to utilize its meta governance system. I actually learned about PowerPool, which is the CVP token, before the whole Yearn thing, because they have a pretty cool idea. They are all about meta governance, which is pooling governance tokens in order to extract utility from them in order to influence votes. One of the current problems we're facing in DeFi right now is the voters' apathy problem, in which minority token holders have close to zero voice in their votes, so sometimes there's no point to even try to use them to vote. Recently, Uniswap has come under fire for their governance system because only whales can influence the votes. So I had already looked at PowerPool as a great way to accumulate governance power. So on its surface, PowerIndex, known as PIPT, which you can see here on CoinGecko, it's sitting at 141. It's very similar to the DPI in that it is comprised of 8 blue chip DeFi tokens. As you can see, there's no REN BTC or Kyber in the PIPT or balancer, and there is an addition of CVP, notably, which is the token for PowerPool, which is the overlying protocol. But beneath its surface is where it gets really interesting. So in addition to having exposure to these tokens with 12.5% in each, the tokens get deployed into vault strategies similar to Yearn, where they're going to do work and actually earn yield for you. So you can have these tokens yield farm for you while they're sitting in the PIPT token. Looking at DPI, they have their own governance from the index token, which is literally index. And you'll notice that the index is not part of the actual set itself. Here we've got the governance token CVP as part of the underlying PowerIndex. Therefore, if you hold PIPT, you already have a say in getting to vote for what tokens are going to be in the contract. That's really cool because you don't have to buy a separate token to have governance power. You can actually have it from already owning the token itself. So not only can I have diversified exposure to 8 DeFi tokens, but I can also get them to work for me and produce cash flow with these fees. And what's even better is they're going to keep coming out with new tokens. So PIPT is not going to be the only one. Soon Yearn is going to come out and you're going to be able to get all the Yearn tokens like Cream, Pickle, etc. And then not only can I own it, but I can participate in the governance of the actual token, which is very cool. And then on top of that, we of course have the liquidity mining incentives, which are great for PowerIndex. Right now, you'll see the balancer pool is running at about 654% APY. You can deposit just the PIPT token itself, so you're just staking PIPT and you'll earn about 481%, or you can do the traditional Uniswap pool and provide ETH and CVP, which is at about 531%. Reminder that as funds go into these, the APYs get lower. And these tokens rebalance every month, similar to DPI, where they will rebalance based on market cap, supply, some other things that are, written into the governance. So the PowerIndex is basically a smart pool that runs on top of Balancer protocol. So if you want to provide liquidity for it, there's 2 ways. First, you're going to need to get the PIPT token. The first option is to mint it with ETH or USDC or DAI, or even look at this. If you are already in DPI, you can go ahead and swap it right over to PIPT. You put in the max you want, and you're going to get your PIPT token. The second option is to add multi-assets. If you already have these in your wallet, this may be a good option for you. The third option is the secondary market, so you can always just buy this on Uniswap right out the gate. Once you have the PIPT token, you'll want to come back to this page and decide if you want to just deposit the PIPT and earn the CVP token as the farming reward. Then you'll click this contract and you can deposit here. And alternatively, you can join the balancer pool. This is an 80% PIPT token and 20% ETH. So there is some possible impermanent loss here, although these tokens are very correlated, so theoretically it should stay low. If you click on this link here, this brings you right to the balancer pool that you want to deposit your PIPT and ETH in. So you'll have to have PIPT and ETH in your wallet already, and then you're going to come here. You'll see here that there is PIPT and wrapped ETH, by the way. It's wrapped ETH, not ETH. And then you're going to add liquidity here and put in the max of what you have. Obviously, I don't have any right now. And then you are going to put your wrapped ETH and hit add. After you add the liquidity there, then you can come back here and deposit the tokens that you just received from adding it. To redeem it, you just go to this page and do the opposite of what you did to put it in. I believe that with this method, you also receive Balancer token as an additional reward that goes to your MetaMask wallet. I haven't verified that yet as I haven't been in the pool for a week, but we'll see. This just started this past week and the incentives go for 8 weeks, so still a good one to get into now. Next up, API3's token sale has ended. It ran from November 30th to December 4th, and it raised just under 23 million USDC, making it one of the largest decentralized token offerings to date. API3 aims to provide an essential piece for Ethereum's infrastructure backbone. If you aren't familiar with an API, it stands for Application Programmer Interface, and it's essentially what connects apps together so that they can talk to each other. So it initially seems that they may be a competitor to Chainlink and are trying to provide some of the same things. If you're aware of any of the recent hacks in DeFi, many of them have been due to faulty oracles, such as Compound's recent disaster where they were using the Coinbase Oracle as their only oracle, which had a glitch that shot the price of DAI way up for a spike and back down, and it ended up liquidating 88 million worth of collateral from customers. This has caused the community to cry out for decentralized oracles such as Chainlink, and there have been some other competitors who have not done as well as Chainlink in terms of their technology, so it'll be really interesting to see how this turns out and what API3 can offer for the ecosystem. API3 also recently launched a partnership with Matic, so they will be building on the Matic chain, it looks like. Matic is one of the layer 2 solutions that I'm very excited about, so this is going to be something to keep watching. Last but not least, we have Ocean Protocol's new mining opportunities. If you are not familiar with Ocean Protocol, they tokenize data sets. So they enable trustless, verifiable data on the blockchain. Now, this token is very complex and it's for data science, so it's a little bit hard to wrap your head around. In fact, I'm gonna have to do a lot more research on it. And they even have an entire Ocean Academy to teach you about what their services do and how you can learn to monetize data and analytics services using blockchain. So I'll refer you to that if you really want to learn what this is about, but if you know anything about liquidity mining, then you'll know that data sets have value. Data is a huge commodity right now, with companies like Facebook and Google making massive amounts of money off of monetizing and selling your data. Ocean Protocol wants to take that and put a decentralized spin on it so that people can actually start earning money off of their own data sets. So that's Ocean in a nutshell, but if you want to get involved in their liquidity mining program, you can go up to the Earn tab and you'll see here that you can earn by staking Ocean on data sets in Ocean Market, or publishing and selling your data in Ocean Market, or building and launching your own market. Now, some of the more advanced details of what the data sets can do is a little bit above my head, but what this is basically showing you is that you can stake using their automated market maker, which is just like Uniswap. It's an AMM for trading and selling data. They say that you'll want to stake on data assets with high sales volume, especially undiscovered gems with little stake so far by others, so that you get a greater cut of the rewards. Ocean data farming rewards will be a function of stake on a data asset, amount of consumption of a data asset, and likely more factors. The fact that they are using a traditional AMM as of now means that there are going to be imposed risks like impermanent loss and rug pulls, the same risks you would have yield farming on any other protocol. So just to give you an example of what these data sets look like, if you go to the Ocean Market, you'll see what you can purchase. So here you've got on sale product pages from Amazon. Looks like you can buy this for 30,000 Ocean. You can obviously see the power of having decentralized data sets that no one owns. I'm personally excited for a future in which we have a little bit more control over our data and it's not all being owned by these third-party centralized companies, but rather decentralized trustless entities. Also, just a word of caution, these protocols I talked about today are audited, but that doesn't make them necessarily completely safe from smart contract vulnerability or hacks. So do your own research and just know that you shouldn't be putting any funds into these contracts that you don't want to lose. DeFi may be the start of the revolution, but it's not going to stop here. Thanks and stay tuned, everybody.